As you likely already know, the economy is, and video games usually aren't your first financial priority. But luckily for us, we are living in the free-to-play game golden era. Since I have the blessings of the gods of fate and time, I'm creating this series as a way to help people find out about free games of all different genres to help distract themselves with as the world continues to burn. Welcome to the free-to-play game review. And if I do this right, maybe you'll learn something new or find a new favorite little game to play. So let's get started. So this week's free-to-play game should be a relatively quick and easy one to go through. This week we are talking about Handshakes. Handshakes is a casual puzzle game developed by Pet Pumpkin and Damaskino, and I guess you could also say Trumpet Guy, who did all the audio for it. And it was developed for the first Lost Relic Games Game Jam in 2022. So Handshakes came out at number 10, ranked number 10 out of about 400 entries for this game jam. So yeah, pretty well received for the little game that it is. And yeah, I couldn't find much else about the development besides that, but I know that I was immediately taken in by its super charming banner and its outstanding reviews on Steam. Now, in my opinion, the only thing better than a puzzle game is a free puzzle game, because you never really know whether or not you're getting yourself into something that you're gonna find like frustrating. But Handshakes posits itself as a game that is specifically more fun than frustrating, and after a couple levels, I think you will also agree with that. Now, I found Handshakes to be incredibly fun. I was able to complete it over the course of a day. I took a few breaks, maybe 3. There were 3 levels that I absolutely had to walk away from because I don't know, you could probably relate, but in a lot of puzzle games, I feel like sometimes you just look at it for so long that all of a sudden really kind of nothing makes sense at all, and you kind of gotta just step away from it and then come back with fresh eyes, and then it's almost like the solution was there the whole time. So yeah, I definitely had to take a couple breaks on some of the levels. I think maybe like for me, when a lot of different like new like mechanics get added in, sometimes like I haven't fully like 100% processed all of those mechanics yet. And so yeah, overall I think that it was a really fun game. I think that anyone would enjoy it if they played it, since yeah, it's really not that difficult. It is just challenging enough to make you feel like you did something right or you learned something new. So I thought it was overall a really great experience. I had a lot of fun playing it. So here's a little bit of trivia for you. Maybe you already know, but Handshakes is what is called a sokoban style puzzle game. Now, you're probably already familiar with this concept or with this style of game, and you probably just didn't know what the name of it was. So, sokoban style games are named after the original game that the puzzle style, I guess, came from, and that game was called Sokoban. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna read from the Wikipedia here, so please excuse me. But sokoban, which literally means warehouse keeper, is a puzzle video game in which the player pushes boxes around in a warehouse trying to get them to storage locations. The game was designed in 1981 by Hiroyuki Imabayashi and first published in December 1982. So yeah, as you might be able to tell from this little graphic on the Wikipedia itself, you basically push little things around and hit some buttons or whatever, and yeah, you probably already know this style of game. I know that when I looked it up for the first time, I was like, oh, it's like all those little Pokemon puzzles like in the cave in like Red and Blue, and then I think in another cave and maybe like a gym leader in Gold and Silver. So yeah, you're probably already rather familiar with this style of puzzle if you play a bunch of different kinds of games and maybe you just didn't know like what to call it. So yeah, that's what you call it when you push little boxes or stones or whatever around. That's sokoban style. So yeah, now you know. So now that we've got that little bit of trivia out of the way, let's talk about the game itself, Handshakes. So yeah, like I said earlier, I was drawn in by the colors, by the banner, the overall, like, I guess you could say marketing, even though it's not a game that's for sale, but the overall, you know, like, appearance of the game, and I'm really glad that I checked it out. So there are 29 levels in the game, and at first maybe you'd think like, oh, that's not very many at all, or oh, that's too many. Well, neither of those things is kind of the case. In fact, I think that 29 levels is perfect for this game. It would be really cool to see if they released some kind of, I don't know, Handshakes 2 or something as a full game that costs like $5 or something. I would totally pay for it because this is actually a lot of fun. This is like a very nice, simple package and you can gain a lot out of it, I think. At least I certainly did in the couple hours or so that I spent on it. Basically, this is the point of the game. You just get this hand guy to shake hands with the other hand guy. And yeah, it works out really well. The controls are super simple and fun. They're very intuitive. You move the left guy with WASD and you move the right guy with up, down, left, right. And yeah, that's basically it. It's a lot of fun to move both of them at the same time. There's a couple levels where that works out perfectly. And yes. So that's basically the point of the game. It's a short game and therefore it will receive a short review. So let's just move right on to each of the rating categories because there really isn't much to be said without giving too much of it away. So let's start off with how free is it? This game is 100% free, completely free. There is an option on Steam at least to buy the soundtrack for $3, which I think is a nice little touch. Just tip the, you know, creators a little bit. Yeah, because the soundtrack is really good, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah, 100% free. Okay, next we will move on to the playability. Okay, so I gave it 4 out of 5 hearts, mostly just because it's a short game and you will probably remember like how to complete some of the levels for a little while, so it would take maybe a few months in between plays for it to feel like new again. However, there is an easy speedrunning option, which I think allows for a certain type of player to open up a much more diverse experience of the game, because obviously if you do remember all of the solutions to the puzzles, then you can just do it as quickly as possible, right? So I think that's really cool. I thought that that was a really nice little addition. I mean, I'm not gonna try it, but hopefully somebody else out there will utilize that capability to its full potential. So I guess let's go on to the soundtrack slash voice acting slash audio category. And so yeah, I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5, mostly because I think the first thing that you'll notice about the game is its soundtrack, or the sound effects overall. This little song that plays is so good. It goes through like just enough progression for it not to feel like it's the same song playing over and over and over again. And all of the little sound effects are just incredible. Like, this is what really made the game for me. I'm a huge fan, as you probably know already, of like sound in video games and exploring sound in video games. So I think that this is really besides the novelty of the puzzles and the overall concept, I think this really like helped. The soundtrack and the sound effects really help to position Handshakes above maybe some of its other puzzle competitors or whatever. It is an original soundtrack as well, which is really cool. So Trumpet Guy did all of the music and I assume all of the sounds, and I'll list a link to his YouTube and other itch.io's website or whatever in the description. So yeah, definitely check all that out. But yeah, so the sound was really good in my opinion. It really made the experience for me. Next, we will go over the art, vision, and graphics. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 because, yeah, the graphics are simple and it's in line with like the intent. It is simply just a game jam game after all. However, at first I was really into the fact that everything was kind of like the same color, but over time I think like the different shades of yellow and then the scrolling background animation, which you can turn off, by the way, I just didn't. It kind of like tunnel visions you a little bit after a while, and I think that's where the necessity for like breaks comes in a little bit more. It definitely makes it easier to take in the game if you take it in smaller parts or smaller pieces. So yeah, I mean, it's polished, it looks good, but I wouldn't say it's like exceptional or anything, right? But overall, it's above average. It looks great. Next, you know, we'll get into, I guess this is probably the last one, right? The story and concept. So yeah, it's a game about making this guy shake hands with that guy. That's it. There's no like hidden whatever. And I guess that's partially why I would give it 4 out of 5, because it is just, you know, it's a puzzle game. What more can you ask from it, really, right? But some puzzle games go a little bit harder, so that's why I rated it 4 out of 5. Overall, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't, as a wise man once said. So yeah, if you average out all of those scores, you'll get something like 4.4 hearts out of 5, which I think is exceptional, right? Like, that is beyond a passing grade. I found Handshakes to be a lot of fun, and again, it was such a quick little thing, kind of like the first one we went over. I envision that the next game and a few of the next games are going to be a bit longer, so there might be a little bit more to say when I go through those, but yeah, I think it was a great experience. If you like puzzle games, then you're definitely going to like Handshakes, and yeah, if you want to just have a game that you can finish in a day, or if you want to have a puzzle game that you can do a couple levels of to like cleanse your palate in between other games or something, or while you're watching something else, like, and you need to, you know, be doing something in order to fully listen to what it is that you're listening to. Like, I think that this would be a great way to help pass the time. As I wrote, a good way to spend a day, indeed, I think that this is a great way to spend a day. If you like puzzles, of course, and even if you don't, you could probably still enjoy it for what it is. It's just a cute little game, made quickly and done exceptionally well. So yeah, I think that's basically all I have to say about Handshakes. So what do you think? Has anyone played Handshakes before? Are you interested in playing it now? I know that I don't necessarily have like the biggest like puzzle gaming audience, but who knows, maybe someday you will be. Maybe someday you're looking for something. I would definitely recommend Handshakes to anyone, even people who don't really play games. Yeah, did you know what a sokoban style puzzle was before? Did you know what it was by name? I didn't know until I looked this up, so I thought that was cool. I definitely learned something new today, so let me know if you did as well. Yeah, so that was super fun, super short. The next game, I have no clue how long it is. The next game is called The Supper that we're going to be going through, and as far as I know, it is completely free. So if you want to check it out or play it alongside me, I'm gonna start playing it at the end of this weekend, and hopefully I'll have a video about it by the end of next week coming up. So yeah, hey, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. And I am so excited to see you again, whenever that may be. If you are a regular viewer, my Let's Plays will be up later this week, 1 per day. It's just taken me a little bit longer this past week to adjust to the changing season, as well as a very rapidly and ever-changing schedule. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.